Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News.
Good afternoon from WKYT News. As we continue here at 12:30, police say a 16-year-old used a rifle to protect himself from a would-be predator.
Police in Lawrenceburg say Henry Coots tried to have sex with a boy and tried to follow him home. He is now in jail facing several charges. WKYT's Sam Smith is tracking the investigation in our top story at 12:30.
Police tell me that Henry Coots told them that he intended to have sex with a 16-year-old boy last week. Police got a call on the 23rd about someone pointing a rifle at someone else at the apartment complex on Lynn Drive here in town. When they arrived, witnesses told investigators that the boy and the 34-year-old Coots were drinking inside an apartment here. Police say the boy felt uncomfortable with Coots because Coots was trying to have sex with him. The boy left that apartment. Police say Coots followed the boy to the boy's grandmother's apartment. Police say Coots walked through the front door, was told to leave, and needed to be forced out. The boy pointed a rifle at Coots to get him out. Coots is charged with burglary, disorderly conduct, public intoxication, and unlawful transaction with a minor.
We're happy to the fact that the juvenile realized what was going on and decided that it was unsafe. However, we hate the fact that he ever got into that situation to begin with.
Coots was arrested without incident. He's in the Shelby County Jail. In Anderson County, Sam Smith, WKYT.
Coots will be in district court tomorrow morning.
3 people remain in critical condition this afternoon after a car crash. It happened on US 27 north of Lancaster last night. Investigators say a pickup crashed into a van. The 2 teens in the pickup and the driver of the van are the ones who are in critical condition this afternoon at UK. The van driver's 13-year-old is also at UK, but we understand her condition is improving. One of 2 ambulance employees injured in a crash is now out of the hospital. Police say a car crossed the median of the Mountain Parkway in Clark County yesterday afternoon, hitting an Owsley County ambulance. The 2 people in the car died. Allen Ambulance Company tells us the second employee who was hurt is still in the hospital and might have to have surgery today. The ambulance was not carrying a patient at the time of the crash.
Well, a grand jury has indicted a woman in a deadly crash. Carolyn Brunig is charged with manslaughter and DUI for the crash that killed Seth Gibson. It happened in April of 2013 on Weisenberger Mill Road in Scott County. At the time, police say Brunig told them she was in the back seat and didn't know the man driving the car. Police say they eventually found evidence showing she was driving at the time of the crash. Also, a man accused of murder takes a plea deal, but the victim's mother says she does not approve of it. 41-year-old Brian Reed pleaded guilty today to manslaughter in the death of Gypsy Reyes. Police say he beat her to death in her Frankfort apartment during an argument in May of last year. As part of the deal, Reed avoided the death penalty and will receive up to 20 years in prison.
He took my daughter's life. I mean, he should have got life. He took mine.
So justice wasn't served?
No, sir.
Reed will be sentenced on February 6th.
We're tracking the search for a robber today who held a gun to a hotel clerk's head early this morning. The robbery happened at the Candlewood Suites near New Circle at Newtown Pike around 2:30 this morning. Police say the clerk told them that the gunman jumped over the counter and threatened to kill him if he didn't give him the money out of the register. We're told the robber also demanded money from the safe, and when he didn't get that, he stole the clerk's wallet and then took off. We don't have a description of the robber, but police say he drove off in a dark-colored SUV. And a dog helped to alert a Lexington man to an intruder overnight. That break-in happened around 1 o'clock this morning on Barnard Drive. The man says when the dog woke him up, he saw someone running out of his house. Police say nothing was taken there.
Well, police say they were forced to tase a man because he charged at them with a wrench. Lexington police arrested Tommy Russell on Nandino Boulevard overnight. Police say someone called to report a man trying to steal truck batteries. When police got there, they say Russell was under a truck, and they say he wouldn't come out at first, but when he did, police say he charged at them with the wrench. That's when officers used a taser on him. Russell faces several charges, including a felony theft warrant out of Franklin County.
There's another change in leadership for Fayette County Schools, and John Kaiser, who is the longtime director of transportation, announces he is retiring. The Herald-Leader reports Kaiser's retirement is effective Thursday. The school district is still in the middle of searching for a new superintendent after Tom Shelton announced his resignation in November. Chief Academic Officer Lou Young is also retiring December 31st, so that's tomorrow. A private cybersecurity firm has told the FBI that North Korea is not behind a hack on Sony Pictures.
Despite the finding, federal investigators aren't budging in their blame of North Korea. And Don Champion tells us who experts say is responsible.
Cybersecurity experts have growing doubts that North Korea was behind the massive Sony Pictures hack, but U.S. government officials still contend North Korea is responsible.
We are confident that North Korea is responsible for this destructive attack.
On Monday, FBI agents spent over 2 hours meeting with representatives from Norse, a Silicon Valley cybersecurity firm. Kurt Stamberger is a senior vice president at the company. He says North Korea was used as a decoy by hackers.
Did they direct, initiate, or mastermind the attack? We still don't have any evidence that leads us to believe that.
The company did find evidence that points to a recently laid off Sony employee.
Ex-employees at Sony got in contact with other individuals on the internet that had a chip on their shoulder about Sony's practices and anti-piracy efforts.
The firm says cryptic evidence in the malware used to attack Sony led them to 4 people who are not being identified. CBS News first reported the evidence last week.
Hello, North Korea!
The FBI has said North Korea hacked Sony because of the movie The Interview. Federal authorities won't comment further, saying the Sony case is an open investigation. Don Champion for CBS News, New York.
And North Korea has denied being behind the attack on Sony. Well, the reason women may be more prone to severe allergic reactions.
And possible new evidence in the link between eating red meat and cancer. Ebony Williams has the details on that and more in this Better Living report.
A new study shows lab mice fed a sugar molecule found in red meat grew tumors at 5 times the usual rate. That's according to researchers at the University of California. They hope their findings shed light on possible connections between red meat and cancer in humans. Hormones may play a role in why women have higher rates of dangerous allergic reactions. Researchers at the National Institutes of Health found estrogen-blocking treatments helped lower allergic responses in female lab animals. And informational text messages seem to be having a positive impact when it comes to parents following up on flu shots for their children. Researchers found 2/3 of parents who received the texts say the messages were key in pushing them to follow through on second doses of influenza vaccine and bringing their kids in sooner. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Ebony Williams, CBS News, New York.